In order to truly understand how you are going to get yourself to the next 10 levels in this game, you need to understand how this human machine actually works. You have two operating systems that you're dealing with to survive on a daily basis. One of them is pure manipulation. Let me describe. If I have a club face that I want to clean the grooves, but I don't want to scratch up the club face, I'm going to tuck my club underneath here, I'm going to settle my body, and my brain is turning my body into a statue so that I can make these fine manipulations with my digits. What do you think a surgeon is? I don't want my surgeon to be tap dancing around my table when he's got to repair my knee, right? Or if you look at a dentist, he's not going to be tap dancing around the room just before he takes that drill to your tooth. So these are very, very important things that we need to do on a daily basis, namely sitting down at the table to immobilize our body comfortably so that we can, manipulate our utensils like civilized human beings. However, if I'm a lumberjack or I'm on a construction site and I got to use this 6-pound sledgehammer, and man, this is heavy and it's dangerous. Well, now what you'll realize with these heavy objects is you've got to get the heck out of the way and allow that heavy object to pass you by. So whenever you've got some weight to deal with, now this machine becomes reactive, and it's amazing at it, right? It's a self-preserving reflex action. So when we're dealing with the golf swing, the golf club is not as heavy as this sledgehammer. However, when I take both hands and I bring them together to take my grip, my hands are now basically handcuffed to the club. And so if I keep my body still, because my brain is saying, be careful, watch out, don't miss the ball, it's now freezing your body. Now, what happens when the body gets frozen? That's why so many of you feel stuck. Well, my upper arms now, which are right up against my rib cage to begin with, are now going to get collapsed into my rib cage. And when that happens, the club gets diverted off course. And now you basically have an electric eel in your hands. So the accuracy is significantly diminished, and the power, very absent. All you're going to be left with is a lot of effort, and the power output is going to be significantly diminished. So let us show you this amazing way that you'll be able to turbocharge the swing, be way more accurate with a lot less effort, and not hurt your body in the process. Wouldn't that be the greatest thing ever? All right, stay tuned. Here we go. Look at this. I've had this ball and a string for decades, right? You remember from Richmond Hill. If I take this ball and a string and I put it into action, you notice my hand is moving up and down? This is essentially keeping the ball in its trajectory, in its orbit. So when the ball is up here, you'll notice my hand is pulling down, and when the ball is down there, notice my hand is pulling up. Well, I can replace my hand with my body. Notice now I can use my legs to keep that ball in action. So we've got this opposing effect that's holding the ball in orbit. Well, that's the same thing as a club head, a shaft, held on to my grip and all the way into my shoulder sockets. So if I only had one arm, this would basically be my ball on a string. So you notice the ball socket system of my shoulder is allowing my club to move in a beautiful orbit around that shoulder socket. So I bring both arms together to take my grip. Well, the only way this is going to work is if the legs turn my body out of the way. So anatomically, half your knee is your femur. Your femur is your hip. You've got a pelvis sitting on top of these hips, and through the spine, you've got the rib cage sitting on top of the pelvis. So you'll notice that anything that you do, whether you're going to snap a punch, throw a ball, serve a tennis ball, the rib cage and the pelvis are designed to move together on top of the hips and legs. Isn't that interesting? So if my rib cage doesn't move, all I get is a pec full of bicep, and you just get, you know, a collapse, and you get bruised and you get hurt. So the brain has to use the ground in order to get your body out of the way for all of these reflex actions. So throwing a ball is a reflex action. You say, I need to take this ball and put it over there. First thing the brain's going to do is go to the ground. Use the ground to get your body out of the way so you have access to that target. Same thing with the golf club. However, this is how it works. I have an object that I need to send to a target. I'm going to use my ball and a string and create a circle. This is extremely accurate because my brain is actually reacting to the weight of the ball. Want to go faster? Notice it's just as accurate, if not more. So now my brain sees where this is passing. It now moves forward. And then it says, well, you got to move down a bit. And there you go. I've just flicked my tee into my screen. So you do the same thing with the golf swing. You take your arm club unit and you put it into action, and you don't let that arm club unit collide with your rib cage. So notice in the backswing, my left arm is not hitting my rib cage. And in the follow through, my right arm's not hitting my rib cage. So it's out of the way, out of the way, out of the way. So I'm creating a ball and a string. All I need to do now is point that ball and a string in the direction that I want the ball to go. And we have a very, very specific targeting system that we use for that, okay? So I've got my ball, I got my tee. This is the intermediate point here that I'm going to use to go to my target. And now when I do my perpetual motion, you can see the blur of my club is actually moving in the direction that I want to go. So that's where the ball should be. Bring that in. Now, if I try to manipulate the club to meet the ball, that could be absolute disaster. But if I let gravity place my ball in a string, and I use my ball and a string to sweep the ball into my target, then I'm going to get a much more accurate movement in the direction of my target. It's a pretty good skull, wasn't it? So now, all I need to do is feel how the sole of the club is going to deflect along the ground and in that direction. So because I want the ground to be struck right after the ball, see that? So it's ball, turf, ground, and then exit. The club at address is going to be just a hair in the air. So there's my ball and a string, and I feel like the low point is going to be right there in front of that. So there's my prediction. So now I'm just allowing my ball and a string to circulate out of the way, out of the way. And now I've got brilliant contact, amazing direction, extreme repeatability, bliss on a stick. This is what we do. So anytime that you're trying to learn in piecemeal positions, You are the surgeon, dentist, manipulator, and you will never have a cohesive golf swing when you do that. There's a time and a place for that. But the best way of going about things is to go to wisdomingolf.com and check out our premium channel, and you're going to see how we're going to show you easy tasks. Ball and a string, let the sledgehammer swing, axe to a tree, throwing golf clubs, cutting grass with a grass whip. Stuff that is extremely easy for you to master and then plug into your golf swing. So then the golf shot itself should always be a reflex action based on self-preservation. And I want that reflex action to simply be directed towards a specific target. Then once you get really good at that task and that reflex action, we'll show you how to focus that action into your pictures and to your targets, and we're going to form this amazing pre-shot routine around that so that you're always in that bubble and you're never trying to be careful, watch out about, hey, I need to be careful. I'm going to have the best score of my life. Don't go left, don't go right. Be careful. You know how disastrous that's going to get. So then you become aware of those situations and you're able to remedy them before they actually happen. So come on down the rabbit hole with us. We're going to show you how to get to Wonderland. It's going to be an amazing journey for you, and we can't wait to help you in that journey.